And here we are. We are all live. I am going to be hitting that space as well. Let's go live into the links and depths of all of the things.
Let's do it.
Perfect.
How are we, everyone? I am seeing that there's somebody entering the chat. Hello and welcome. I hope we have gotten it onto our streams. Can everybody just let us know if you can see us and hear us? Let us know who is in and who is not in. Come welcome. And we decided to switch some things up. We are doing Love Rehab, and we decided we were going to do Love Rehab from this place right here instead of keeping it private, because it's something that we also need is an idea of healing. We talk a lot about the problems that we have in relationships, but so little of us get the opportunity to actually heal from our relationships. And that's what the three of us thought we would offer out today. And with that, welcome to Love Rehab. We're going to give a few more minutes for some folks to come into the chat. Let us know. Let us know where you're at. What's up? All those good things. Welcome in. Can everybody see themselves? Can everybody see if you're streaming on your own platforms, Maria? Can you see on
I
your
am
platforms?
trying to see.
Right?
Yes, I am seeing.
You are streaming. Okay. Maria, we just want to take a double check to make sure I can see that I am streaming on YouTube. So that is a good thing.
Wonderful.
We are in that one. And
I believe I'm also streaming. I don't know how to check it, but
Yeah,
I'm okay
I
with
don't
that.
either.
Let's
If
do
you can help,
this, ladies.
we are going to just be
I
out
can
in
try to figure
faith,
it out. I'm just like, okay, that's how it works.
right? We are just going to do this out on our faith and we can
Absolutely.
figure it out from there, right?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yes, yes. Okay. So let's keep going. Let's keep going. Um, Hi. Can we do an introduction? I guess I'll start. I'm Carrie of Carrie Sutra. I am all about love and relationships. I'm all about giving this beautiful space of healing, because a lot of us sit in pain around relationships and we don't really connect back in to the whys and the hows. And I am, if anything, an experienced person with being in relationships that don't work. I think that has made me an expert on figuring out how to make relationships work. I'm a trauma informed trained coach. So my passion is all about offering a no judgment space where we can be in love and just heal and recreate the ways that we sit in love. So I'm going to leave that there. And then, whoever's feeling in, because I have two fabulous, wonderful people that we are co creating with today, please introduce yourselves and let us know and tell the folks about who you are.
Yeah. Hi, y'all.
Right?
So, good afternoon. My name's Anisha King. I am the CEO of Secretly Obsessed Lingerie. I'm sure you've seen me around. I'm also the one with the red lingerie everywhere. That's me. And I was guided to connect with these two wonderful ladies to get the guidance because I was in a year relationship and it wasn't of the best. And right now I'm in my healing process and here I am. And I think that a lot of people need to reconnect and try to figure out what self love means so they
Mhm.
don't have to go through what I had to go through.
Ooh, powerful, powerful, powerful.
So
Love
amazing.
that. Thank you for that share. That was just deep. That was just deep. And how can we not come to the hotness, the amazing, my beloved Maria? Please tell us about you.
Hi, everyone. I am so excited and so blessed and honored to be here with these two extraordinary queens and sharing this space with all of you as you join us. My name is Maria Diaz, and I am the founder of Your Orgasmic Life. And my purpose in life is such a deep commitment to women and to us
Mhm.
thriving in our lives and reconnecting to our yonis, our pussies, our power, our essence, our divinity, and to live life from that space. And so for
Mhm.
me, it is the biggest honor to, I am such a nerd for relationships and sexuality and sensuality and anything that has us thrive in our lives,
Mhm.
and the transformation that causes us to really shift for ourselves and to reconnect back to our truth. So I'm all about being, living in the essence of our truth as the extraordinary women that we are. And I want that for every woman in the world.
Yeah, sure.
Ha, do you see why we love her? She is such a powerful woman. And that gift that we're giving is so important as we move through this space. And I just want to confirm you guys are absolutely streaming
Yeah.
online. I can see it here. So we are in our power in all the ways that we are. So let's begin. Let's begin with why, how, and what's that we are welcoming for. And oh, I also want to mention that this is not an only event. We want to hear from you. So feel
Mhm.
free to put into the chat what you are feeling, what you are thinking. I am saying hey to all of my YouTuber people who we're also streaming in here. We want to hear from you. Put into the chat any thoughts and ideas. And we want to begin with just that. Tell us why you are here. What made you join in other than, we are three beautiful, fabulous peoples. But put into the chat anything that you would like to heal. I always call this, let's bring the feels. That's what this moment is. Let's bring the feels into this moment. Let us know what your thoughts are. And in the meantime, while y'all are putting that in, how about we share why we decided that this was a powerful thing? Why did we decide we needed to share, or what are we particularly, us three, wanting to bring into the chat space?
A healing manual. I feel like when you're going through a breakup or going through something that has definitely changed the way you look at relationships, um, it changes you because that relationship with
Yeah.
yourself as well. Um, so I think that having I was like venting. I was like, yo, I need like a healing manual. I need someone to tell me step by step what to do because I don't know. As well as the fact that when you're going through that healing, do you know that you're healing? And are you
Mm,
present enough to understand that you are healing? Um, and I think that was the hardest part. That was
Mhm.
the hardest part. So yeah, it's time to check into rehab, and here we are.
I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that it's a very vulnerable
Mhm.
share.
Mhm.
And I think I'm going to hold that for a minute.
Mhm.
Um, because I think as we move through this process, it's really going to connect very deeply. And hopefully, that'll be the question that we answer as we move through this. And I appreciate you for that honesty because it's real and it's very much what we're all feeling, that sense of ourselves wanting to know and connect in. So, yeah, it can be messy when we're connecting.
Yeah.
Maria, I would love to hear yours. Like what had you thinking and being here and all of the good things that we're doing?
I want to share that I remember what it was like for me to go through like one of the biggest breakups in my life when I ended my
Mhm.
20-year relationship with my ex-husband, and how
Mhm.
uneasy it felt, how scary, how much anxiety I felt, and how much in the unknown I felt, and how I didn't know any of the tools. I had no clue how I was going to get through it. And so for me to have discovered tools, to have
Mhm.
connected with such extraordinary, mostly women, that held spaces for me to heal and guided me and saw my leadership and saw my truth and saw me for who I truly am before I even saw myself. I think that is quite important to have in our lives. And the other thing that I want to add, is that when we talk about healing,
Mhm.
um, sometimes we can get into a space of like, we're in this chronic wanting to heal, and it is
Mhm.
not until we heal that we can be in our power, that we can go after our dreams, that we can engage in another relationship, that we can. So we tend to get stuck in life saying, I have to heal this and I have to heal that, and until I heal this and until I heal that, then I'm gonna go after my dreams, or then I'm gonna
Mhm.
start dating, or then. So I wanna say something that's extremely important that really transformed something for me when I heard it. And it was like one of my coaches said that old paradigms can coexist with new paradigms.
Mhm.
Something doesn't have to die for new things to emerge and to be.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So it gave me the permission to still F up, to still
Yes.
be in the healing, to still be in the middle of it all, the storm, the messiness, the everything, at the same time that I was like, I'm growing. Every day I'm expanding. I can go after my dreams. I can be honest in relationships and say where I'm at.
Yeah.
That's part of having emotional intelligence. So I want that for every listener, everyone watching, to really get that we can be in the process of healing our
Yes.
traumas at the same time that we're in the process of elevating and creating and living our dreams and going after the things that we want. That the fact that we have traumas doesn't mean that we're broken or there's something wrong with us or
Mhm.
we're not good enough. That is BS. We are whole, we're complete, we're powerful, we were created in the image of God and the universe. And so it's just that integration of healing at the same time that we are also being in our life and creating and moving forward, because we're healing and implementing the wisdom that we're getting at the same time. So I really wanted to put that in, because
Mhm.
that's something that I went into. I was like, no, I
Mhm.
can't do this until I heal that. I can't do this other thing. And so I got stuck for a period of time in that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Loving that.
Yeah.
Loving that. I think that is amazing. I think that that is real. I think that it's a really good place to like rest in for a
Mhm.
second, because one of the processes, and I why I want to really be in this, is that sometimes I don't think we give ourselves enough of that sense of recognizing that we are perfectly imperfect,
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
you know we put so much around the sense of healing, of, or even when we're in a bad relationship, we attach our shame, we attach our judgments. There's always so much judgments that we give ourselves
Mhm.
around being in these scenarios, right? And because we attach the shame and the judgment, we really remove ourselves from the reality of being able to transition through your pain,
Mhm.
right? And
Mhm.
I'm going to add, because Maria, you said something so beautiful and I love it, the idea that the two possibilities or entities of, you're in your pain, you're hurting, it really sucks, but you can also be growing and experiencing new and having new life breathed into you, and they happen at the same
Same time.
time.
And they can coexist.
Duality, being with duality, being able
Hey.
to be with sadness and pain and happiness and joy and all of it at the same time. And I just want to thank the people who have joined. And
Yes.
Kettle Buddha was saying, we are the healing we're looking for.
I love
I
that
think
so
that's so
much.
beautiful. And he also
Yes.
shared, when all paradoxes come into agreement.
Yes,
So it's like
yes.
all the paradigms, everything is just like, all of it is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Who we were,
Love
who
this.
we are, who we're becoming. Like it's all a union of beauty, and none of it, is something that basically who I am today, which I am proud of the woman that I am today, is made up of all the experiences I have ever had in my life, no matter what experiences
Mm-hmm.
came. So I
Yeah.
cannot say, well, I wish I didn't have this part of my life, because if I take that part away of my life, I would not be who I am today. I'd be a completely different human. So, like, having
Mm-hmm.
gratitude for the experiences in my life, no matter what they were, and then knowing that those experiences brought me to today and they gave me the wisdom. So the key is to extract the wisdom. How do we have the tools to extract the wisdom from all of our
Mm-hmm.
experiences?
Yeah.
I
Definitely.
love that so much.
Definitely.
Anisha, what are your thoughts? Secretly obsessed. What are your thoughts on, all the wisdom that's been expounded already when you think about, this
Speechless. Like,
process
the
of.
word that comes to my head is speechless. Like, when you really do take the time to recognize that there's so much things that are not brought in the forefront. Like, they're so hidden. Like, if you don't actually go out and get it, like get the support that you
Yes,
need, you will be fucking lost.
yes,
And I think so people are so afraid of that too. Like,
yes.
when you see, like, I'm not gonna say I'm young, but I'm middle aged now. And I feel like I wouldn't have went to go look for this support or this guidance
Mm-hmm.
to do something different, to be
Mm-hmm.
uncomfortable, because people are so afraid of being uncomfortable, like being that
Mm-hmm.
vulnerable and being able to share your experiences. But I feel like there's so much strength, like you said, and wisdom, and like feeling that strength and that comfortability, like,
Yes.
is something different.
Very real. And so I wanted to bring into this space as we are discussing this, because we are mentioning so many powerful pieces about what it is to sit into and be in the experiences of loss and the grief and all of the things, but very few of us understand what trauma is. And that's one of the things that happen in the journey. And I think that it's important that we really discuss what happens when you go through a traumatic experience like a breakup.
Yeah.
And statistically speaking, a couple of the things that are on that list that are considered major traumatic events that aren't like a catastrophic, if you haven't been in a car accident or something, a lot
Mhm.
of people don't recognize that trauma doesn't have to be that kind of catastrophic event. It actually can be something like going through a divorce. It
Yeah.
is actually something like, losing somebody who's been major important. Like if you have to go through a death, like those are considered some major traumatic events that happen. And
Mhm.
so what trauma is when you have experienced something that is so impactful emotionally and mentally to your psyche, to your sense of self, that
Mhm.
it sits and lives in your body.
Yeah.
Human beings, we like to think that we are above our biological needs, right? Like we like to think we've evolved to the point that we don't have the same biological needs that we did before. But in reality, we are still animals, and we act from this biological, physiological space. And there's a part of your brain that is subconsciously attached to you, but it's there to keep you alive. Like that part of your brain is just literally there to keep you alive and to keep you safe. And so
Mhm.
when something bad happens, it will just act for you.
Yeah.
And you're not even in awareness that you're going through it. And there are certain responses that your body will give when you're going through a traumatic response. And one of those is you can either freeze, right? Sometimes you may fight. Sometimes you may, what am I looking for? You may have a freeze response. You may have a flight response. You may have like a shutdown in your reality. Like there are various ways that you can respond to a traumatic event. And I also think we have to note that you will sometimes act afterwards, after you've gone through something, you kind of shut it down, that your body is still reacting, because that part of your brain does not know the difference between time and space even. Right? Like your primal sense does not get time and space. It only knows it was to keep you safe. So you literally have to almost reprogram that part of yourself. You have to reprogram it. And the way to do that is to bring it from the subconscious into the conscious, giving it a place to live. And what we're going to do today, I'm hoping, is to create enough of a safe space and give you guys maybe some tools and tips on how, because we brush things off, right? You go through that bad thing and you're like, that dude wasn't shit, screw him. But he may have said something to you that really hurt you in your core, and we will block it. But sometimes you really do need to sit with that because your subconscious remembers it. And you'll find yourself almost self-sabotaging and doing things because that part of your brain is still sitting in the background. So
the drinking and smoking and all of that, once it's done, like it's still sitting there regardless of what you do. You can continue to smoke and continue to drink, but it's really not going to do anything in reality.
And I also want to offer that if we don't bring awareness to that part that wasn't working so well for us, what also happens is that you want to heal it. Your body is going to want to heal it. And so you will recreate that problem, that challenge over and over again in your life. And it may look different. Like that's why a lot of the times when we are sitting here going, why do I keep attracting the same man? Why? Like I know in my story, it took me a very long time to recognize that I would attract. Right now I've put out a story on my YouTube channel called The Community Man, and it's all about this cheating. My first, significant relationship, and he was a cheating person, right? And so I call him the Community Man. And then it was interesting because then, even though our relationship broke up, I ended up connecting with another person and he ended up cheating on me too, So that was funny for me to see that happening, to see that, I was creating the same relationship over and over again. And I just wanted everybody here to know that that's a thing. Right. So we're going to do an exercise or two, hopefully, that will allow us that healing space. The tools are going to be coming up next. So thank you for the shares. Does anybody put anything into the chat that we'd like to share on?
Can I just add something about you spoke about when it comes to the trauma? I just wanted to add that when we're talking about having traumatic experiences, the fact that sometimes we tend to compare ourselves to other people's traumas and say, oh, I shouldn't share mine because mine is not as catastrophic as someone else's. And so we minimize our own pain and we disregard it because, like what I went through is nothing to what Maria went through or Carrie went through or Inesha went through. And so we tend to compare ourselves to other people. And I just want to say that it doesn't matter what it is, as Carrie so eloquently said, is anything that causes us pain and causes us to to feel all kinds of emotions
Yes.
about ourselves, and it may cause us to feel diminished and unworthy and not enough, and all
Mhm.
these other things. So I want to be really, really mindful to say that it doesn't matter what it is. We're not here to compare with one another whose trauma is better or worse. Trauma
Yeah.
is trauma. Every human being experiences trauma from the moment that we are born.
Yeah.
And so
I off. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
it's not about comparing our
Yes.
trauma to someone else's. It's
Absolutely.
about acknowledging the trauma that we have and knowing that we have the power with tools to be able to heal that trauma, to be able to move through that trauma. And I'll just give the ladies a very quick, simple one of the tools is, our ancestors had so much wisdom, and they taught us
Mm-hmm.
as women to move our bodies sensually, to move our hips, to twerk. And that
Yes.
has been taken and has been diminished and has been sexualized and appropriated. However, why it is so important for women to be in women's circles and to move sensually and to move our hips is because our hips carry trauma, and we're able to release that trauma and heal
Mm-hmm.
together. And so that's one small thing that we can all do. Like we all, can put on music and just move and sway our hips and move our bodies and release.
And I actually was hoping that we would maybe get a moment to just do a demonstration of it. We're going to click into that because Maria, you are so right. That is exactly the truth of this. Like there are when we I really wanted us to kind of take a moment now to like let's do this. Let's show a little bit of what trauma healing can be. And you pointed it out. I think it's so relative because again, there's this idea or this sense that everybody, I often say nobody gets out alive.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody gets out of this world alive. You get
Mhm.
out knowing that you're going to go through something, and that something is your something. And that's what makes this gift of us being in relationship so powerful, is that you learn and your experiences help you recreate. However, we also have to know what that is in our bodies. So I would love if we could just take a second to just take a minute so you can recognize when you are being triggered. And I am going to see if we can put on just a little bit of music. Let me see if this
I do
works.
also want to share that
Yes, go ahead while I'm doing this. Sorry. Go ahead.
um I think dance is so interesting because that's actually the catalyst of when I started realizing that this is not it. I wasn't dancing, and I love dancing from since I was younger. And I wasn't dancing. And the time where I just like started to like listen to music and actually take in the music and start dancing is when I realized I wasn't happy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's so powerful because it's like I wasn't able to reconnect with I wasn't connected with my body. I lost myself
Mm-hmm.
where I didn't
Speak
even
it.
remember what it felt like to be happy and being that joy of dancing and doing things that make me happy. And yeah, when I shared that and I did not get the response, I was like, you don't understand.
Yes. Yes. And especially music is a vibrational space.
Yes.
Music and when we connect into our bodies, it's energy, and we know about that. So I'm going to offer, if we can take a few minutes just to sit into just a small event to help us connect into our bodies, and something that you can do just for yourself if you're feeling triggered. Because even in this conversation, some of what we're talking about may feel a little, antsy and weird. And so I normally start any event with letting you know that this is a safe space, that it is okay to feel your feels. But if you are starting to feel triggered, here's one of the things that you can do that's very simple. I'm going to play, hopefully, this is a good piece. I'm picking it out of spirit. And let me know if you guys can actually hear this, by the way. I'm waiting for it to boot up. Can you hear that? Can you hear that? Oops, wait, I muted it. Hold on.
I'm like, it could, but then it went away.
Yeah, just for split.
Wait. Oh, I know why. Hold on, because I need to turn the volume up. There we go. There we go. Can you hear that? It's a little loud, right? Better?
Could be a
Can you
little
hear
louder.
it?
Could be
Right
a
Is
there?
it a little louder?
Can we hear it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So here we are. So I'm going to ask everyone to just take a bit of a breath. Just take a breath with me. Breathe in deeply through the nose, and let's exhale through the mouth. We had a request about showing breathwork techniques, and so this is one of them. Let's take another deep breath in. I love to do things in threes, so let's take a breath in through the nose, and just feel your body expand as you take the breath in, and let's exhale. Let it feel into your body as you do that. And like we're gonna do one more. Let's take another breath in, deep breath in through the nose, and this time experience that breath, right? And breathe it out. Let it sit in that body, right? Let's shake our heads if you feel the need to move. And as you drop in, connect in to what's happening in your body. I know for me right now, as I feel in, as I open up with the breath, I can sense that I've got my shoulders hurting a little bit of tension. And I want to acknowledge that tension that's sitting right here in my shoulder with an awareness that it's there. Just take that moment to scan your body. What is showing up for you? Where is it hurting or aching? Where is it not? What is in the space of this conversation of you now? Maybe softening your eyes, closing them will make you feel good as you concentrate on what's happening on your inside. Just take this moment to be present. And notice what you feel. Are you happy? Are you sad? Is it somewhere in between? And try to do this with no judgment. No judgment. Just noticing what may be in the space right now. And sit with it for a second, a few moments. And let's take another deep breath in. And let's just exhale, being gentle. And if you feel called, put your hand on your body a little bit. Because one of the things about when we are or we're feeling not so good is we move ourselves out of our body. We go into our heads a lot of the time. So this is an opportunity to just touch your body. Feel your hand on maybe your throat, or just like when I was touching my shoulder, I can feel that pressure if I add a little bit of a massage motion. And if you've got one hand on one of your shoulders, I invite you to bring the other hand up to the other shoulder and give yourself a hug. Give yourself a squeeze. Maybe the shoulder to shoulder isn't the best way. Maybe you want to wrap your arms around yourself and just give yourself a squeeze. Maybe it's a handshake. Feel your body connect with itself. Shaking it out. I love it. Inesha, I'm watching you just move your head all around and giving yourself presence. Shaking it out is another beautiful technique. I see that Maria's doing that. And I would offer that as you are shaking, as we are hugging ourselves, as you are doing all of those things, mention and murmur to yourself that you are safe, that you are grateful, that you are in this moment, that this moment means ease and flow. that not only have you survived, but you are willing to thrive. Revel in the goodness of your own sense of yourself, the very gift of this touch, because you are where it begins and ends. Sit in knowing you are safe. And as we sit in this sense of ourself and of knowing that we are safe, I offer you to repeat it back 3 times. I am safe. Let's take a deep breath in, because we're going to pair it with this power of breath, and exhale and say it with me again. I am safe. And let's go one more round, because we always like to go more than once if we can. Let's take a deep breath in. And let's exhale. If you want to sound it, because sometimes that's a part of it, we mute our voice. Let's say, I am safe. Woo! I heard that. And I would offer that you can stay in your mode for a minute, or you can come on right back. Spend a moment to just be. Yes, yes. And I'm going to just turn it back down.
Feels good. Rejuvenating.
Right?
Ooh, my body's sticking.
Hey, that's it. A part of healing is offering ourselves this time to just reconnect. And, that's not that hard to do. I often, when I'm having a moment, will just go like this. I offer a guided meditation that will be offered later. It's a free meditation just for this, just to give ourselves this power of touch. Because you know what often happens, and especially as women, we nurture everybody else. We're forever nurturers. That's what we are to do. We very often don't nurture ourselves. We don't give ourselves that same love that we will extend everywhere else. And I would offer that that's probably the beginning of our challenges. That's where it begins, because women are forever extending, but we don't give our moments to receive.
Yes.
Right? So I see that Kettle Buddha said, so powerful. Thank you for your comments. I'm noticing that that's what life is, our feelings and emotions. That's how we experience life. Everything we feel within. What a powerful statement. Thank you for those comments.
Yes.
Does anybody else have anything that they want to mention? Because I'm kind of kicking in on other people's YouTube here, or sorry, feeds here, and reading them out. And again, I agree. It is a beautiful thing. Any comments?
The thing that I want to add.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that I want to add, I just want to bring it back to what you said, Carrie. We don't have to spend a huge amount of time. This took maybe 5 minutes, and in 5 minutes of breathing, of being present with our bodies, of reconnecting to ourselves, so much healing can happen. We can ground ourselves back. We can regenerate ourselves. We can expand our energy and just reset ourselves. So it doesn't have to be so elaborate. We can truly spend 5 minutes. If we don't have time throughout the day because we're busy doing things, if we stop and we take 3 very deep, intentional breaths, that is a huge reset. Just three
Yes.
breaths. we don't
Yeah.
we don't breathe deep enough. We breathe in a very shallow way as we're moving through the world, and our body needs to be oxygenated. Body needs our breath to function. And so if we just take three deep breaths and just get present to our body and ourselves, just that in itself is a
Mhm.
huge reset.
Yeah. It makes
Love
you
that.
feel light and rejuvenated. And not only that, you can feel the energy from everybody that's here is supposed
Mhm.
to be here.
Hey, and I just want to like bring that into the center focal point of this as well, that we as you know, we can form our circles, and I'm so grateful for everybody who is in this circle with us, who chose to be in these moments with us, because it is powerful when we can sit and be and commune together. That is the energy. And also wanting us to understand your innate power in this as well. There is a real rejuvenation
And I just want to say,
that's given.
I want to acknowledge.
No, go ahead, finish, Maria. You finish, because I'm going to say this one thing afterwards, because I think we're probably in sync as we always are. Let me know what you were going to say. Did, did you finish, Maria? Oh, am I lagging?
We can't
I'm
hear.
sorry.
You're lagging.
I'm having delay, and I'm sorry to cut you off when
Yeah,
I
we missed
speak.
what you said,
I
Maria.
want to acknowledge the men in the room. I want to acknowledge the men in the room.
Oh yeah.
I see some beautiful men. Like one is Kettle Buddha. He's an amazing human, and um, KGA 93, and I just think it's beautiful when men join these spaces and we get to come
Absolutely.
together as men and women and grow and expand, because men don't have as many safe spaces to be vulnerable
Mhm.
in our society, and when we
Yes.
can co-create these spaces of vulnerability and to be present and to heal together, it's such an exquisite thing. And so I truly acknowledge the men that are here in the room.
I
Thank you for showing up, and we love
Ashley.
you.
Ashley.
Yep, I love that for bringing that out, because it is very real. And I also want to acknowledge, because I noticed Provision Trust Capital, you're in the space too on YouTube, and I want to really bring that up because it is powerful. And I think we do need to acknowledge, we're talking about healing from broken hearts, but we often don't give each other
Mhm.
enough space to understand the whys we are having this need to heal from the broken hearts. And then you mentioned so eloquently, men don't get enough of these spaces. And we
Mhm.
have to examine the why that happens. That is a whole other piece, but I know we all feel
Mhm.
very called to have those kinds of conversations, because the way we have created societally, men being vulnerable is really not a thing. They are not allowed. The things that we hold up as masculine and manhood are actually very detrimental for the most part for
Yeah.
many men.
Yeah.
And I think that there is a lot of room for conversation, for us to recreate again what that can look like, to offer some softness. Because let's be honest, most of us want relationships with men, right? There's some of us, that we want relationships with multiples. Like, relationing in itself can be such a different experience if we choose to maybe reinvent and recreate those
Mhm.
ways. So a part of the healing has to be come from one, using some of this that we've told you or showed you here. So let's do a quick recap. One being the breath. I think, Maria, that is so true. If you don't even have 5 minutes, but you got 30 seconds, taking a deep breath really oxygenating through the nose and with technique, like bringing it in through the nose and then just exhaling. You know, if you can sound it, that's great. But if you're in a meeting, like somebody's getting on your last nerve and you just need to give yourself that 30 seconds, take the deep breath in and just let it out slowly through your mouth. Nobody else has got to know that you're taking and giving yourself that rejuvenating time. And then the second one is just to offer yourself a quick hug. Again, if you're in a public space where maybe you can't do it in that way, you can always just even squeeze your arms, do the whole neck thing. Give yourself a moment to consciously touch your body. And I'm going to add one more that I often find very powerful, is I love to put myself up against, like, for example, let's say you're in your office and you're feeling anxious for a moment. One of the things that I found that I can do that really helps me is go and touch the wall. Maybe it's the side of your cubicle. Touch the wall, put your body up against it, or lean back in your chair so that you can actually feel something firm, because that will also bring you back into the present moment. Because what happens when you've gone through something that's making you feel not great, again, you leave your body. So those are 3 quick tips that you can just do to bring yourself back into presence. And then if you follow it up with, I am safe, I am in the here and now, and one of my favorites, which is, I am my own rescue. I have the power in me to continue to heal. Right? Okay. We got that.
I just want to read off some of the comments. And I see here Summer's Remedy said, I just released some negative energy with those deep breaths. Thank you.
Yes. Love that so much.
Yes. And
thank you.
And Kettle Buddha says, thank you, Maria Carey and Secretly Obsessed. You're most welcome.
Yes.
We appreciate all of you being here.
Okay. I know I'm feeling good. I know that I'm feeling in presence. Does anybody have anything else they'd want to add in regards to healing? Is there any other methods that we want to drop some more gems in, or offerings of, other things that we can do? Space, anything in that one?
I wanted to share something.
Sure.
When you are,
I want to add that journaling, so quite healing.
Yes, journaling.
Putting pen in emptying ourselves out. It's also quite powerful.
Yes. I realize we've got maybe a slight lag. So that was a gem, Maria. I think we just lost each other in the translation. So you mentioned the journaling and really taking note. And I think that is so powerful. And thank you for that share. And I'm now thinking, Inesha, we missed yours. What were you saying? Sorry, can you repeat it?
Yeah, so I just wanted to share that while you were talking about in terms of the trauma responses, I realized, especially amongst the Black women, we are in this like high functioning, we just tend to just overwork. And I got into that mode and recognizing that, like, you may have to take that time to be selfish and take the time for yourself so you could be present, so you could be able to do the work. So
can we do some snaps? I think we need to do some snaps. I think that is a snap time.
Yeah, because there's this response of, and I've always heard the responses of flight, froze, all of them. Yes. But once you go through all of those, you have to find a different outlet, a different way. And being that woman as independent, that you don't need no man and all these different things, it automatically gets into survival mode. And that survival mode becomes like, yeah, I'm gonna focus on my money. I'm gonna focus on distracting myself. I'm gonna focus on this.
Mhm.
But you never took that time to actually grieve and sit in it and be present.
Mm-hmm.
I did that.
Powerful and oh so right and true. And I really, really appreciate you bringing this up because, again, there are many different ways that trauma can look. And one of them is that we get busy. We move into a mode of distraction, of what I call that busy work. And this particular, I think women of color, and every one of us here are, um, you know, we endure. There is this sense of we must just, brush it off. The strong Black woman motif for us as Black women, this idea of the nurturer for women. These ideas really almost disconnect and add to that disconnection of us being able to feel. And two things can happen with that. After a while, if you continually don't allow yourself a moment to self a movement where we were wanting into creating a soft life, and especially for Black women, um, if you don't take those moments to come into and just feel into your pain, because you're allowed that to. Many of us move on, but very few of us get that moment to sit in it. And if you don't take that moment to sit in it, sometimes it will sit on you. And so things will either fall apart or you so disconnect that you can't feel anything at all.
Yeah.
And when those modes don't allow us to live and serve in our best
You
life, and like you mentioned
become
before,
numb.
Maria, you become so numb.
Yeah.
And what we're hoping is that if you take those beautiful gifts, so we've given you four now, we've given you the sense of breath, we have given you the idea of just touching your body and being in that space. We have given you the idea of the journaling, taking those moments to journal. We have given you, there was one more that we said before that. Did I miss it, Maria, or was those the three and I said four?
Did you say dance? It's okay.
Oh, we dance was the other one.
Yes,
Giving yourself
dancing
movement.
sensually, moving your body.
Yes,
Yeah.
movements, right? And don't worry, dance like nobody's in the room with you. That's also key. Dance like nobody's in the room with you. Dance so that you can just let out whatever you're feeling. Those four things are powerful and simple tools that you can offer yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want us to sit with that for a few seconds. Mm-hmm. And we are coming up to the hour. I think we've been on for a little bit. And if I know anything about Instagram, I think after the hour, they're going to shut us down anyway. I give us a few moments to maybe add some shares, some comments. If you've just joined the room, I want you to think about or know that we've been talking about ways that you can actually heal from, going through some traumatic and horror, like experiences that weren't your best. I'm not going to say horrible, even though they probably were, but we're going to try and stay in that positive mode with this. If you didn't catch them the first time, please take a listen to this because I think we put out some real gems. We're going to be making sure we send this out even more, and you will be hearing more about the topics we touched on this channel or on this live today, because we recognize that we can go deeper, right? There are deeper ways that we can be in these experiences, and we all do this work together. And it's time, and especially at this time, I think also there's a collective feeling in the air of our energies and the hurts that we're going through. And it's so important to find outlets for these spaces, right?
The healthy outlets.
Oh,
Yes.
true.
Healthy out.
Healthy outlets. Yes, yes. And with that being said, What do we have any closing thoughts? Anyone? Anybody who wants to put them either in the chats, or if you'd like to mention them here, any of us have anything we want to say, feel free.
What do I want to say? I want to say open to receiving.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love that. Open to receive. And the way, can I add to what you just said? Because
Of course.
I think that to being open to receive, it is so imperative for us to be able to heal.
Yeah.
To be open to receive is
Yeah.
to be able to sit in stuff that doesn't feel good.
Yes.
Because the way that your body resets is when you give yourself the opportunity to sit in it, and then it realizes that you got out on the other side, that you didn't actually unalive, that you didn't, fall to 1,000 pieces. You might have come this close, but you didn't. That's when your body truly works through the stages of healing. And maybe that will be the next one we do, is about what are our stages of healing, because you can come out on the other side.
What I want to add is a few things. I want to remind us, as I said in the beginning of this beautiful call, that healing is a process, and we can be in our healing journeys at the same time that we're implementing and growing and being powerful in our lives. The fact that we have trauma, the fact that we're healing, doesn't take away from the power that we are. And so old paradigms, they don't have to die in order for new ones to be born, in order for you to be everything you came here to be. And so as we heal, let's not stop our lives. Let's not stop living as we heal. Let's continue expanding and growing. The other thing that I want to add again is that trauma doesn't look like a specific way, and it doesn't have to be traumatic or catastrophic, the experience, in order for us to say, oh, that is trauma that I need to heal, or for us to be vulnerable to share it with others that we feel safe with and that we trust. That's very important, right? Creating those safe spaces of trust, of compassion, of non-judgment, in order for us to be able to share vulnerably from our souls. And so it doesn't have to look a certain way. It doesn't, anything that has caused you pain is something that every right, birthright, to be able to heal and move through and process for yourself. The last thing that I want is that loving ourselves, starting from the nurturing the relationship that we have with ourselves, is one of the most important things.
She lagging?
Little bit of a lag. Little bit of a lag.
Yeah.
You know what? Oh, wait, Maria, you were saying so many beautiful things, but I couldn't get all of it because there was a slight lag. So can you maybe just repeat it, because it was too good a gem. It was too good a gem. The last bit that I heard was about relationships, about the relationship we have with ourselves.
I can repeat.
It won't let her repeat.
I was gonna say.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's try this.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I'm just missing, like, there's a little bit of a lag. But you know what?
So
Say
I said,
it, because
I said that we have to wait until we're fully healed to move forward in life.
Yes. Yes.
Agreed.
That
I
the
don't
two
know
things.
what's going on.
We can still hear you, Maria. We can still hear
Can you
you.
hear
So
me?
your message is come. Absolutely. Can you hear us? The message is getting through. The message is getting through. And I really want us to do that because we are at 59 minutes. We probably have maybe 30 seconds left if Instagram is doing the same thing. So I want to make sure that the message
Okay.
got through.
Can you hear me now?
I
Can you
can
hear me
we
now?
can always hear you. It was just the screen was frozen. The screen was just frozen for a minute,
Okay,
but
perfect.
we
We can
could
hear
hear
you
you.
So
now.
I'll go quick. I will go quick. Okay, so the first one, we don't have to wait until we are fully healed to truly live our life and be powerful in our lives.
Yes.
We don't have to compare our trauma to anyone
Right.
else's. And it could be anything that we feel pain about that we can take the time to process and work through
Mm-hmm.
and heal from. The other thing that I want to say is that self-love and the relationship that we nurture with ourselves is so crucial and important for everything in our lives. It dictates how our
Yes,
life
yes.
goes. So the more we nurture our relationship with ourselves and we become self-aware of us and our and every part of ourselves without shaming ourselves, it's so valuable and important. Another
Oh,
thing that I want to add is that, breath is really powerful. And
yes.
we gave you some very simple tools that you can use at any point in time to bring yourself back to wholeness
Mm-hmm.
and to ground yourself. And the last thing that I'm going to share that maybe on another video we can expand is the fact that emotions actually only last 90 seconds in our bodies. And we are the ones who take those emotions like sadness or anger
Mm-hmm.
or suffering, and we choose how long we're going to keep them in our bodies, in our minds, in
Mm.
our souls. So the more we do this work, the more the smaller that gap gets
Mm-hmm.
between us experiencing those emotions and being able to process them and being able to release them and just keep
Yes.
the wisdom from them.
Hey, I love that piece because it's about releasing the charges. And yes, let's drop those gems for the next time that we're in this experience. And we, I think, are full. We're full. The
Yes.
one I want to add just one more thing to that, because a beautiful thing around that relationship with self. Another tool that we can drop just at the end of this is recognize that it is so okay to spend some time loving on yourself. And loving on yourself may mean getting yourself to that movie on your own, going to the movie by yourself, in learning to sit in your own company and doing something lavish that you may would have done for somebody else, but giving yourself that opportunity to do it too. And I think that's the last gem, like I would love us to drop. In the meantime, where can everybody find us? Would you drop in, Maria? Thank you for always bringing your light, your joy, all of the things that you bring into these spaces. Thank you so much. But where can everybody find you? Please let us know.
It's lagging.
Oh, Maria's lagging. So in the intern,
I'm
why
like,
don't you
so,
tell us, Inesha? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
okay, you can find me on Instagram at Your Orgasmic Life or on Facebook under Maria Diaz. If you have any questions, let's connect. Send me a DM.
Right? Drop into the DMs. And I'm going to plug her because she does not plug this, but there is going to be a juicy, Maria offers this incredibly juicy process. And I'm just going to tease you all with it because it is all about coming back into your body,
Mm.
learning how to turn that channel of your body into how you going to date. How are you going to attract the next body that you may want on yours. So we are just going to touch that for a second and keep that in the gem. And thank you, my queen, for offering that beautiful space. And again, you can find her at your orgasmic life. Drop her into the DMs if you want to talk to her. She is a wealth of wisdom. Let me tell you, she is a wealth of wisdom. And under Maria Diaz on Facebook. And then I'm going to run to our beautiful queen, Secretly Obsessed. Please drop into the chat where we can find you and all of your goodness. Don't forget your website. Don't forget your website.
I was not going to. Coming soon, EXO Secretly Obsessed collections. I hope you guys are ready for it. There's going to be a lot of lingeries and touching, and the sensualness is
right.
I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready. And you guys can put it on and start dancing and connect with yourself. Yes.
Yes. So, and where can they find you on the gram? Where can they find you?
I'm at Secretly Obsessed __, and the underscores are together. Remember that, because you won't find me. It's like this. Literally, it's put them together. And then as well as my personal Instagram is Miss LC King, and connect with me. Send a message.
I love that. And you can find me on, I have a YouTube channel. That is one of my juiciest spaces. So if you really want to connect with me and find out all about my good juices, I am Carrie Sutra. That is the moniker I use. Please connect with me on Instagram as well as on my YouTube channel, which is Carrie Sutra TV. I'm also on LinkedIn. I am also on the gram under Carrie Sutra. You can find me on Facebook. Mind you, they like to shadow ban me there, but you can find me under Carrie Goring on Facebook. So I am around. We are all going to be offering some juicy tidbits. And I think why I also want to mention them is because they all interconnect. So again, Inesha is coming out with a whole sexy, sensual lingerie line that is all about us connecting back in beautiful ways that is in our physical sense. Maria is offering her a new program coming out that is all about really learning about our goodness as a human in our places and spaces of our bodies, and then allowing you to be in the relationship spaces. And my area of expertise is taking a look at the intergenerational traumas that we have had. And I am going to be launching an intensive called Good Girls Do. So please stay tuned for that moment where we can spend time reconnecting back to our ancestors, because we don't just carry our own pains. We carry the pains of those that have come behind us. And when you heal, this is the gem. When you heal for 7 generations that were behind you and 7 generations that are going to come in front of you. Ooh. Is that your role in this life today? I believe it is. So thank you, everyone. I hope you had a moment. It was a good time for you. Please drop into our DMs, any of our DMs. Connect with us. Let us know what you thought of today. Send this chat to others who you think this might really benefit. Mm-hmm. And this is the first of many. Come on back, because we will be back. Bye for now.